Hello, world, and welcome to Pardon the Politics Podcast, Season 1, Episode 13. I am your co-host, Jeezy, along with my partner in politics, Manny. Manny, how you doing today, brother?
We back.
Hey.
Number 13.
Look, hey, man, we just, Friday the 13th just passed, Episode 13. Coincidence, maybe?
I don't know.
For our tinfoil hat community out there, is there something to it? Hey, man, it's great to be back. Welcome listeners to this episode. As always, we want to thank you guys for tuning in. We thoroughly enjoy our community, our growing community here at Pardon the Politics. So continue to share, continue to listen, continue to like, and thank you for tuning in. So we got a pretty good episode for you guys.
Yeah, man, we pretty stacked. One thing I want to call out, what we're not going to be talking about today.
Okay.
Is we're not going to be talking about the drones in New Jersey. One of our listeners hit me up like, "Hey, you guys going to talk about that this week?" No, not until we know more.
Yeah,
as far as we know, this is a whole government program. But look, they told us not to worry, so that's going to be the extent that we talk about it. They told us not to worry right now. Now we're skeptics. we trust government, but we always got that side eye. But as right now, we that's not a topic this week. We got other things to talk about.
Yeah, well, the only thing I will say to that is that President-elect Trump did suggest that it was possibly McDonald's drones that were sending meals to Chris.
Why he still mad at Chris Christie, man? Right. And it's wild that it's McDonald's because I have firsthand seen some of Donald Trump's team's orders to McDonald's, and they're wild.
Bruh.
They're wild. So I'm just like, come on, man. If this is not the pot calling the kettle black with McDonald's, man, let that man enjoy. The McRib is back. Let that man enjoy his McRib in peace.
Man, they talking about some of them drones the size of cars, bro. Like if Chris Christie got a catered order for 1,000, dropping in on the drone, that's wild, bro.
Bro, trying to keep those fries hot.
Hey, bro, one fry will feed them all, bro. So he's trying, but yeah, man, we're not gonna hit on that. But we got plenty more that we
plenty more to talk about.
The first thing on the docket for today is Manny. I believe that Biden might be tuning into the podcast, brother.
And if so, we do have listeners in Delaware. So President Biden, welcome. Yeah. We appreciate you taking the time out of your week to listen to the boys here on the pod. And if at any point you want to join us on the pod, talk to the people, the doors are always open.
Yes, sir. The
always open. Here, come on by.
As they say, the doors at Pardon the Politics, it swings on welcoming hinges, my brother.
Now you might get fried up a little. But we got the jokes.
come prepared to have them coals raked up under you now. But I believe he's listening to the pod, man, because he went to work on this list of people that he has pardoned and commuted. It was reported that roughly 1,540 people whose sentences were commuted or pardoned by President Biden happened on Thursday, which made the largest single-day act in modern history. That is
look, man. That's a lot of people.
He went from what we reported last episode, 27 people,
27 pardons to here you guys go, doubled that number easily in pardons and clemency. Good. I mean, look, it's a Christmas holiday, so congrats to all those people who get to go home with their families just in time for Christmas. But this list was not without its commentary and problems. And, if you look through the list, there's a lot of names. So, Jeezy and I spent a lot of time kind of going through all of this and reading up on some of these. And I'm going to be honest, there's a lot of names on that list, and I did not get the opportunity to go through all of them. But we're going to talk about a couple of the big ones. First, let's hop into the one that I actually think is No, we'll do that one second. First, we'll hop into one of the minor ones. So
before you do that, brother, let me say this. For our listeners, I want us to do our due diligence. I want us to first tell our listeners what the difference is between a pardon and commute, because this list isn't just completely full pardons or full commutes. So,
yeah,
with that, a pardon, just so our listeners understand, is a complete forgiveness for the crime, effectively erasing the legal consequences. And with a pardon, it does not erase the conviction itself, but it does restore some civil rights, such as voting or holding office. But a commute is totally different. It just reduces the severity of the sentence without nullifying the conviction. So, your prison term might be shortened, or if you're, on death row or getting a death sentence, then it could be changed to a life imprisonment. But unlike a pardon, the commute does not restore your civil rights at all. So I just want our listeners to understand that.
Well, and I'll go a little bit deeper on that. Pardon is a type of clemency. Mm-hmm. So if you look at the types of clemencies, there's 4. Pardon, which Jesus talked about. Commutations, which is, from my understanding, the bulk of this list, again, reduces the severity of punishment. So let's say you were in there to do 50 years, and right now you at 25, they've commuted your sentence to either, hey, you can get out right now, or maybe like, hey, in a couple weeks you can get out. There's a reprieve that temporarily delays the execution of a sentence. So kind of like just pause, chill out before you guys flow back in. And amnesty is broad forgiveness granted to a group of individuals or specified offenses. So you saw amnesty is really from the standpoint when Biden earlier this year for the marijuana offenses and federal marijuana offenses, he did amnesty across the board for that from a federal stance, which largely just impacted DC.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, I think it was good we hit that. Make sure everyone's up to par. But there were a couple on there that were real questionables. The first one I'll call out is he gave clemency to Rita Crundwell. For those of you unfamiliar with Rita, man, she was moving that money, man.
Moving that work.
So in 2012, she pled guilty to embezzling $54 million. And what is considered to be one of the largest cases of municipal fraud in the United States. All right, so before we go into like how I feel about that, first of all, Dixon, I don't roughly know. Oh no, 15,000. Sorry, Dixon is a town of 15,000 people.
Bruh.
How y'all not notice $54 million is missing over the course of the year? Like, how you not?
Bro, that's wild.
That's a lot of money. Like, I would hope that in the city of Raleigh that I live in, that they would notice that over the course of the year. Like, because I can't envision that she was there long enough to like quietly slide out and maybe a couple thousand at a time over a course of a year and hide that. But that's pretty wild. To which the city manager, Danny Longo, said, "When I heard the news, I was completely shocked and disbelief. I was outraged and felt a complete sense of betrayal from the federal justice system."
I bet you were.
And I think this is also a key call out as well. As president, you have this power, but this does not impact state. These are all federal convictions. So I think we've talked about it before. Donald Trump is still under investigation for the situation down in Georgia. Those are state charges. The issues in New York, those are state charges. So he can't do anything for those states. So all of these actions were done federally.
Yeah.
So that was one of the big ones. But the biggest one, and I'm just kind of in shock about this one, is what was his name again? Let me pull it up. Michael Conan. Did I say his name right?
I think it's Michael. I pronounce it as Conahan, but I could be wrong. Michael C.
MC. And I'm
This one was.
read the room, man.
Yeah, this one was not received well at all. A lot of people spoke out, and he was from the northeastern Pennsylvania area, and a lot of people spoke out about this, and really in part because, well, first of all, our listeners understand he was sentenced to 17 years in prison for helping orchestrate one of the worst judicial scandals in U.S. history. Basically, it was a scheme to send children to for-profit jails in exchange for kickbacks, and there was, I can't remember the family and the gentleman's name, but because of what he had done, one of the kids, once they had, I believe it was once they were released from jail, actually committed suicide, and it was one of the kids that he sent away, that in this scheme that he was running. So this was really, I believe even the governor even spoke out about how they did not agree with this decision by President Biden.
Well, let's take a step back. Like,
Yeah,
first off, 17 years, like that's real weak.
that is very
He
weak.
got a real
Yeah.
gift of a present in that sentence alone. Like to see what they did for first time offenses, like
Mm-hmm.
truancy, for they were sending people here for writing parody websites and minor fights. Like
Wow.
it was ridiculous. And when you see the impact of the criminal justice system on anybody, let alone minors,
Yeah.
to at such a young and fragile age,
Yeah.
to put them into the system, whether they did it or not. So, we're not here to talk about like the amount of people that kids who have gone or are part of the criminal justice system. But you're talking about you're taking kids in general, going to jail
Yeah.
at 15, 16, 17. That does something profound
Yes, it
to
does.
that permanently alters a child's life.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned the suicide. You also got to look at recidivism rates of graduation. You've now
Yep.
permanently impacted these kids' ability to be able to get into college.
Yeah.
So for the purposes of making sure that we're not doing this again, 17 years is weak, is real weak. And for what he was charged, he initially pleaded guilty to one count of racketeering conspiracy as
Mm-hmm.
part of a plea deal, but later withdrew his plea. And he also did he forfeited assets because of the scheme. This is trash, man.
Yeah.
This is
And,
trash.
and to that point, he even, and it really bothered me because even with his comment, and he did it, plead guilty to a certain extent, but his comment was that the system is not corrupt. I was corrupt, which is some level of accountability.
But you're part of the system, like.
But exactly, and it further made me think about just how there's so much distrust in our system. And just to have something like this that has taken place and the effect that it's had on these individuals and their families, and then for Biden to go and pardon the guy, I wrestled with what was the reason? Why did you feel it was necessary to pardon this individual? What message did you even think about what message this was sending about you and your administration? Or is it could have been like how we said last week in the episode, is Biden in a screw everything and it just is what it is? But I just couldn't understand why. What was the purpose? That I could think of probably 100 people
Right.
that you could have put in this position that actually deserved it, but this individual certainly didn't, in my opinion.
And again, I think you call out something that's really important here. So one of the things that Biden denoted is that he was looking at who are nonviolent offenders, and like I think this walks a very, very fine line of a violent offending.
Yeah.
But people who are already, in home confinement or other conditions because of they're not being held in facilities. And like, I get that. But at the heart of it, what I don't know, and I would love more clarity on, is did Biden just make these decisions, or was he? I'm assuming, my assumption here is that he was put that he was provided a list of people that the federal office of clemency kind of review over and make a call about whether they should be released or not. So I'm wondering if Biden just gave them the criteria. They said, "Here's a list," and he just rubber stamped it. If that's how it went down, then that's trash.
That's very trash.
That's real trash. Like, but again, I don't have a whole lot of details until how you get on this list, whether he just provided the list. But like, you know, I guess congratulations, you pardoned somebody who was a worse human being or did worse charges than your son. Like, but this was a trash move.
Yeah, and I just, again, I don't know how you get on this list. I don't know what the criteria is to, like, exactly like you said, but this had to be, and I'm almost kind of in the mindset, or at least I'm hopeful that this was the case, that he just sent a criteria that gave him the names, and he said, okay, cool. Because if you tell me that you looked over this
and said,
him, oh, bro, you trash. You real trash for that.
But the one question around all of this that I have is, you freed him, but you ain't free. They ain't free Tiger King. Hey, man, my man down here in Butner, all that man wanted to do was raise his cat. No, guys, I'm joking. I'm very aware of the charges against him. But there's a lot of questions. I would have to think that, you know, we covered it last time. There was 7 to 9,000 people who have applied for clemency. Yeah. If you were not in this number, but in that number, you got it. This got to be a rough Christmas for you.
Yeah, I'm wondering, is he done? That was a lot of people, and it's obviously, like I said at the beginning, is the largest single day act in modern day history. I'm just wondering, is he done? I'm wondering, you know, does Biden hear a little bit of the noise and, you know, some of the backlash of the people that he's pardoned or commuted, and he says, okay, well, there's more that I need to do, or, you know, maybe there's a round 2 to this. But I think that it could have been better, man. I think that if he really, truly, as far as his legacy, wanted to, you know, say, hey, I did this, I did that, I did this. I think that this could have, in this area, he could have been a lot better, because all I see, you know, I'm grateful for some that were able to be commuted or pardoned, but I just feel like when you pair this with Hunter Biden, and then you pair with, you know, Michael here, I just feel like this wasn't a good use.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense at all. So I hope there's a round 2 of some that actually makes sense. Trump even said, "Hey, well, while you at it, why don't you go ahead and hit the January 6th hostages?"
Man, but hold on, we're gonna put a pin in that and come right back to it. Okay. To give a little bit more detail, so 39. The 39 people were pardoned were primarily convicted of nonviolent offenses, including drug-related crimes. These pardons are part of an effort to address sentencing disparities and offer a second chance to rehabilitated individuals. In regards to commutations, these were federal inmates who had been released to home confinement during COVID-19 under the CARES Act. This action aims to reduce the prison overcrowding and continue the efforts initiated during the pandemic to mitigate health risks. So, again, that's a weak criteria. Yeah. If that's just all the criteria that you were looking at, like, okay. But coming back to the new individuals who are probably under a level of pressure right now is those January 6th rioters who are currently sitting.
No, brother, they hostages.
I'm sorry, hostages. The hostages, as incoming president has no hostages. And according to reports around that, there is a lawyer who had reached out to the Trump administration. They're like, "Yo, you said this is happening for your first day in office, so we out day one, we out day two. Hello, hello, Mr. Trump, Mr. Trump, can you hear me? Hello." Apparently, it's been radio silent and it's been real murky. So,
at the words of Drake, texts get green when things get a little dark, don't they?
bruh. And green they are, good brother. Green they are.
You know what? That would be insane. And in our season 1 of FAFO, he's already said that I don't know if them gas prices gonna come down. I don't know if them grocery bills gonna come down. And now he's been at rallies they have like a moment of silence for the January 6th hostages. For him to not stand on that promise would be one of the many broke necks that I believe want to come. Very
on brand.
Very on brand and broke neckish of him.
And to that point, I think Trump is setting himself up for a very busy January 20th. Like, that wouldn't have been me.
Bruh.
That wouldn't be me. I'm going back to the White House. This sounds like a day two. Some of this stuff sounds like day two problems.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, you trying to seal, you want to seal the border, you want to stop funding, you want to all this on day one? Like, do you still remember where the bathroom is in the White House?
Trump said, if I work now, I could play later. I got I get it all done now.
I can chill.
But go ahead. The other 3.5 years, I can just sit back and not do nothing.
Go ahead. Let me go ahead and do my homework, so I got more time to play the game.
Yes, sir.
So this will be interesting as it evolves. I think I'm in the same boat as you, that I would hope to see another wave of clemency for deserving individuals.
Yeah.
That are truly deserving. Mm-hmm. Because the list is very bruh. It's not listing. And one thing I want to call out to our people who listen to the pod last week. I talked about someone who was incorrectly convicted, and I didn't remember her name. Well, like I denoted, 15 minutes after we finished recording, I was like, that's the name. But her name is Kembe Smith Parody. Okay. And there is a documentary that is out on BET Plus that covers her entire story. But yeah, I want to provide that name to individuals. Hopefully I'll get some time in between now and I would say the end of the year. I'm going to give myself some grace and say the end of the year. But she has there's a movie coming out called Kembe, where she is a executive producer on that. So hopefully I'll get some time to check that out. But I encourage everyone else to do that. She currently runs a charitable foundation that is really about raising awareness to certain social issues around drug abuse, violence, AIDS, teen pregnancy, and abuse. Okay. But I wanted to call that out. I like to close the loop for our listeners.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to check that out, man. I'm definitely gonna check that out myself, man. Appreciate that, man. Well, we'll see what happens with these Biden pardons, and we will, obviously, as always, here at the pod, we will keep you guys posted.
We're here watching.
Yep. Now, while we talk about pardons and we talk about some stuff that doesn't make sense, or it could make sense, that leads me over to our next segment, which is the FBI director has resigned, man. Christopher Wray has resigned as FBI director, and it was a bit of a shock to me at first, but then obviously, like always, once I get over the initial shock, I think about it and I'm like,
This makes sense.
This makes sense, man. So it was reported that he has indeed said that he will be resigning at the end of the Biden administration. So once Biden is out, he's out. And I think this makes a lot of sense because let's be honest, Trump has already said that he wants to get rid of him and replace him with his nominee, Kash Patel. And we know how Trump is. Trump is a absolute troll, and he was going to do everything possible that I'm sure of to make Ray's life or his just duty to doing his job as FBI director a complete living hell. So he
Yeah.
announced his decision was to step down shortly before President Trump's inauguration, likely anticipating a forced removal as part of the new administration's plan to reconstruct the FBI. So, what you think about it, Manny?
Man, I think I wasn't as shocked that he stepped down. I was more disappointed.
Yeah.
Because internally in my soul, this was going to be a fun 3 years of watching them two fight. Because you guys remember in 2017, Trump appointed him.
He did.
And
it was after James Comey, right?
Yep. After Comey got the old heave ho, they brought him in. And and what's nice about the FBI is it's a 10-year appointment. I think it makes sense to have that consistency across your one of your major departments and not have that impacted by elections, especially because there is congressional approval. But Big C, he's 57, man.
Yeah.
And that it was going to be, on top of an already stressful job to have to fight Trump day in and day out for the next 3 years until you resign. Why? The flip side in my head, I believe every president deserves the right by winning election to have an administration that they get to select. Mm-hmm. But I'm disappointed that, we're not going to watch this, but it makes a lot of sense. At 57, having done this for years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing that just, I guess, bothers me more about it is the way in which, the chaos will ensue in appointing someone to this position. With Kash Patel, oftentimes, and Ray came into what was a highly criticized position of being considered as weaponizing to a degree. And I want to commend him because he really worked hard to try to get things back in the center, because we know that it was a complete chaos with how things went down with Comey and Chris coming in here and trying to really get this cleared up. But even still, after him coming in and doing so, still being criticized about the department and its direction. And I feel like he really did his best job to try to get the priorities of the Bureau to align to what it was once known for and what it should be. But it leads me to question that if we're trying to get the FBI back down the middle, how do we expect that to happen with someone like Kash Patel?
A firebomb thrower?
Yeah. I mean, really, how do you expect? Because, if the goal is to realign the Bureau's priorities to where they should be, how is that going to happen with someone like Kash Patel, who we know is sitting right in Trump's back pocket? How do we know that he's an individual that will do what's best for the Bureau, what's best for the country, as far as running that department to the standards of which America should have it at, versus doing the bidding of Donald Trump?
Man, great points. Great points. And my honest answer to that is, I don't know. I don't know. You usually come on here, you ask real thought-provoking answers, and I'm like, I got an answer for that. I don't know. Here's what I will say. If you look at the list of people who have been selected by Trump to be appointed to these positions, Kash Patel is not the most unqualified. He does have, he's been a public defender. He's worked in the Department of Justice. He's worked as a senior counsel for the House Intelligence Committee. He was on the National Security Council. He was the director of national intelligence and he was also the chief of staff to the acting Secretary of Defense, Christopher Miller. Mm-hmm. There have been far worse people nominated for positions. Looking at you, Pete.
Mm-hmm.
So from that, I'm like, okay, maybe it could be worse, but
Yeah.
now you do have someone in here who now knows how to navigate this system. I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know. Now, I think one thing that does make this very interesting in how this plays out, and I have to believe that some of this was planned and kind of like thought through, was the fact that, and this is my understanding, is that with Christopher Wray stepping down as soon as Biden leaves, with the nomination, Kash Patel can't be made acting director, because one of the things that I
Mm.
believe could have happened is, had Ray sat there, Kash Patel could have been appointed as like the deputy director of the FBI, and as that type of employee, as soon as Ray would have been pushed out, he would have gotten appointed to run the organization in an acting capacity as he stepped through confirmation, effectively making him the director without him going through Congress. This kind of forces him now to, you're definitely going to have to go through confirmation through the Senate.
So then how does the acting process work? Well, I'm assuming that Trump will have to, is there someone that's already, is there a position that would fill the acting role while Cash goes
I
through?
believe it's the deputy. But yeah, I believe it is the deputy. And remember, because the FBI is not set for these long scale changes, they are prepared for like immediate situations where there
Okay.
is not a leader. So I think that will end up coming into play for a while as we go through this process. But we'll
But the
also,
deputy would be somebody that's already appointed in that position,
I believe
correct?
so, yeah.
Okay, so it wouldn't be someone that Trump would.
Coming off the street. No, I believe
Got you,
it
got
would
you.
still, I believe the deputy director has the same time length of appointment as
Okay.
as the
Well, if
deputy.
I'm
So
if I'm the deputy, I'm about to go have a talk with Chris, because then why you put this in my lap?
well, I think there was a conversation, and that person is just like, look, man, I'm just here chilling.
Yeah.
I'm just here at the helm until you figure out who's going to really be steering the ship. And
Yeah.
I think that would be my mindset, stepping into that acting role as soon as we get there. Now, we also all could be completely shocked here, and Patel could skate through
Yeah.
confirmation. We
Yeah.
don't know. There's so much we don't know about this confirmation that it's
gonna be crazy.
it's going to be crazy. Like, I don't know what could happen.
And just for our listeners to know that when it comes to Kash Patel, while his supporters do highlight, as Manny has said, that he does have he has expertise legally and he has experience in the intelligence oversight, they do criticize him for the fact that his close political ties with Trump could be a problem, and a lack of direct law enforcement experience as well too, could raise concerns about his suitability for leading the FBI. And if you've heard in some interviews, some of the things that he's said, he's gonna close down the Hoover Building or whatever and turn it into a museum for the deep state, and all those people that work in that office. He said he'll tell them to go be your police, your cops, go be cops, go out and go do some stuff. Those things have been often criticized.
Yeah. So, and to give you a name, that individual is Paul Abate, is currently the deputy director, and would fill that role until somebody has been appointed.
Got you. Well, Chris, you've done a good job, man, and thank you for the service that you've done in that position. I can't say that I don't blame you, because if I had to deal with a boss coming in that's already told me he don't want me there,
I'd be gone too.
I'd probably
be gone too.
Take my money, take my coins, take my happiness and my joy and peace, and
Head on to the old homestead.
Go to the homestead. So we will see how that turns out once it comes. And does this really pave a clear path for Kash Patel? We don't know. Only when does all these confirmations start to take place?
They'll start, I think, a little bit after Congress comes back into session on January 3rd.
Okay.
So as soon as the new year. So and again, that's because they want continuity of government. So
Yeah.
a good portion of the non-controversials, now I haven't seen a schedule yet as into what order these are going to go in, but they're going to go ahead and start getting them approved with like set, hey, this person is going to be in charge moving forward as soon as the administration, because there's still handoff that has to happen.
Yeah.
So I think they're going to try to get through most of these ahead of the January 20th inauguration.
Got you. All right. Well, we will keep our eye on it. That'll be something that we will break down at the pod when the time presents itself. So, with that being said, we are on to our next topic, and that is Nancy, Mitch, and term limits. For those of you that don't know, we received this past week some updates. Nancy, former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, who I would like to mention is 84 years old.
Old.
Man, bruh, she's old. So, she underwent a successful hip replacement surgery in Germany after sustaining an injury during a congressional trip over in the region. All I'm gonna say is why and keep it moving. But it was also reported this week that Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell fell during a Senate Republican lunch on this past Tuesday. And I would like to mention that he is 82, which means that he is what, Manny?
All these members of Congress need to get life alert. And if you are old enough to get life alert while serving in Congress, you need to go home.
You need to go home
because you're old.
Brother Mitch had they had to get some medical responders over to his office, look at him, and he received or sustained a minor cut on his face, and he has a sprained wrist from the incident. So,
y'all go home. Geez, here's the wild thing. Man, Nancy is number 8, and Mitch McConnell is number 10 on the list of members of Congress with the longest duration of service.
Bruh. Why? So that leads us obviously to what we were saying before is term limits. And these people, first of all, at 84, I hope that I'm not still working.
Well, and wait, quick pause. Okay, again, Nancy Pelosi is 8. Number 10 is Mitch. Can you guess who's number 9? We have said this person's name here on the pod.
Ooh. I'm drawing a blank, brother.
It is Maxine Waters.
That's who I was.
Auntie Maxine.
I was gonna say Maxine.
Go home.
Maxine said they say the wig's still laid and she still look good. So she said, I ain't out here falling. I hear you, Auntie. But you gotta go home.
You gotta go home. Like, okay, so I'm looking at this list.
First of all, there shouldn't even be 10 people they even put on this list because all of them shouldn't even be there.
But Chuck Grassley, Republican from Ohio, 91. My dude,
like years old.
We have not been alive for a time where he wasn't in Congress. Go home.
Bro, this man have been through segregation, desegregation.
Chuck Grassley was in the House from 1975 to 1981, and then has been in the Senate. We don't even know him as being a representative. We only know him as a senator.
That's crazy.
My parents started dating while he was a senator. Bro, go home, man. Like, and Steny Hoyer. Oh, it's Chuck. It's Chuck Grassley.
Okay.
Served 63 years. Go home.
There's no reason why you should be a career politician like this.
And just because I like to be fair and balanced, Ed Markey Democrat from Massachusetts. He has served 48. Again, we don't know a time
What about
when
Bernie?
this. Let me see.
Is
where
he on the
Bernie,
list?
Bro, he made the list. He made the list. Bernie Sanders. We do know a time where he was not in Congress, though.
Okay.
He first got to the House in 91 and served in the House from 91 to 2007, and then has been in the Senate since 2007. So we as adults saw him. But Bernie, you can go home too.
You can go home too, man. You got to hang it up.
Bro, like...
So let me ask you a question then, Manny. Why do you think term limits are needed?
Oh man. Oh man. Oh man. Bro.
In a less than 48-hour response, because we could be here all day talking about that.
Man, what do you have in common with the average American at this standpoint?
Bingo.
Like, I get just from an age point, money wise, me and these people have very little in common. But like every decision, I think everyone knows and everyone's very well aware that the decisions made at Congress end up impacting 5, 10, 15 years after the decisions are made. Most of these people on this list will either no longer be here or definitely not in their right minds to have to live with the ramifications of these decisions.
Yeah.
And that's problematic. Like you vote, you look at situations differently if you're going to have to deal with the repercussions.
Yeah.
My daughter will look at me and say, Daddy, can I have a bowl of ice cream or bite into this lemon? Do as you please. But I would advise you against biting into that lemon.
Yeah.
Again, don't care. Well, it's not that I don't care. That makes it sound a little bit more vicious.
No, we understand. We all know it in that terms. What I don't care means.
You're like,
it don't mean
if you
I don't
want.
care.
I would not advise it, but I don't have any stake in that. Even though I do, because as soon as she bites into that lemon, I'm gonna hear, Daddy, this is sour. My mouth tastes bad. Like I'm gonna hear that for a while, but I have no skin in the game. Mm-hmm. But if I look at her and say, hey, where do you want to go eat for dinner tonight? It's your turn to choose. And she says, Daddy, I want to go to Angus Barn. Whoa. That decision affects me because you at your non-tax paying age are not going to be in there ordering a filet.
Yeah.
What you know about exactly. not until you pay some taxes here. So they don't have that correlation. Yeah. That's issue one. Issue two, it's one of the points where I feel like Donald Trump has a lot. He's right. You become part of this swamp. These lobbying is built off of relationships. Yeah. So the longer you're there, those relationships get to stay and form. And while that is helpful from a legislative standpoint, there are places where those relationships can be exploited for the good, not of the people, but of the special interest. So that's problematic there. And then if you just roll back, all the way back to the beginning, way back in the time, you go to George Washington. Bingo. And him stepping away. He's like, this is not made for me. We didn't start this for me to be a king. Yep. We started for me to serve the people for a period of time. Yep. And then leave. And the next generation steps up. And what we're getting ready to see is America is going to struggle as a country because we now have a lot of boomers. Not a lot of boomers. We have a lot of boomers here. We have a lot of Gen X and a good portion of the older millennials, even I would say millennials across the board, who are not going to be involved with the leadership of this country because we've had people hold on for so long. Yeah. And I think a lot of these people just so badly want that John McCain treatment.
Mm-hmm.
They want to die in office and all the pomp and circumstance. And I want to lie and stay. Look, man, you're judged with a lead. You're judged as a leader by what you ultimately build that remains after you're gone.
Exactly.
You are judged as a leader not by how many people follow you, but how many other leaders you form under you.
Yep.
And so much of that is being lost because these people are choosing to remain in these positions.
Yeah.
When Nancy came out and made her, statement that, hey, I feel bad, so I'm going to stick around for another term. No, Nancy, go home.
Go
home.
Because ultimately, what will you be recognized for? Because to your point, when you think of these people and the positions they're in, the changes they are able to curate, it is based off of what transcends after you've gone, after you've left. What were you able to be remembered for? A lot of our great politicians that we've seen, that we may consider to be some of the greats, they didn't hold on. They did the things they needed to do and backed up and got out of the way. You don't see a lot of that happening. And when you think about these term limits, one thing that you spoke of that I thought of a lot is the prioritizing of reelection over public service. A lot of these people just care to get reelected, to stay around, to keep doing what they're doing. But when you're so focused on winning re-election, and you shouldn't be focused on re-election as much as doing what the people, your constituents need, because if you're doing that work, then re-election ain't a problem.
Right. Not a problem at all.
I don't have to worry about it because I'm doing the work of the people. But, I think that term limits are good because it reduces some of the corruption that you may have. It encourages some of these fresh perspectives, and it weakens the grip on entrenched special interests. And that is a issue that you see a lot of going on. That's where that swamp comes into play at. But then on the flip side of it, when you look at what could potentially be the caution for term limits, one of the things that I wrote down, man, is that it could reduce legislative expertise and increase reliance on unelected staff or lobbyists.
Yeah.
Because you don't have those people in there. If let's say term limits are, let's say I'm a young guy, I'm 37, and I end up making it into Congress.
Hey.
Hey, that'd be nice.
Jeezy for America.
But I'm be honest. Where would my connections be of those that would have the expertise to help me to build those relationships along the way before, let's say I get term limits of 8 years. Let's say by year 6, I finally get it figured out. I can't, I'm kind of handicapped at this point, So
well, I think to that point, and there have been studies, if you look at the United States against other major developed countries, we vote a lot. If you think about it, there's a federal election every 2 years. You could win in November, this past November, and you could be preparing for life post Congress. Wiley Nickel is a name from North Carolina, one term, in and out. Mm-hmm. And I think when you have terms that are as short as ours are, you don't have time to really get adjusted to the seat, but you don't have enough time to really think about what you want to do long term and the long term implications around some of your decisions. Mm-hmm. And because of that 2-year time span, and I know we're just going to talk about the House, we do realize the Senate is 6 years, so you do have the Senate is 6 years, and there's also 100 senators, so it's fewer people that you have to kind of like get to know. Yeah. But it's almost as soon as you get elected, in the back of your head, at least, or in the back of somebody's head, has to start being the plan. Okay, we're looking at re-election soon. Maybe we can take a break of about 5 to 6 months, but we got to start raising money for that. We got to prep for that. And is there a case out there potentially to lengthen term of House members? Maybe. And then you're also looking in terms of how often we vote, you're looking at having to make everyone get up to speed on all their representatives every 2 years. That's a lot. That's a lot. Yeah. That you're asking the public to do en masse. So There are efforts, though. And, we talked about this in the pod on a previous episode. North Carolina being, I believe, the 32nd state that has put out a call for a very specialized constitutional Congress.
Yeah.
That is focused on setting term limits. So I think people are fed up. I think people are fed up on both sides of career politicians. And let's also be honest about the situation. Our congressional representatives are not very inclined to give themselves term limits. Mm-hmm. So it's almost going to take an external, function as a constitutional Congress. Now, I have concerns of a constitutional Congress about what else they could touch. I know what has been denoted is that what a lot of the states have already signed on for is very specific to term limits. But I've never seen a constitutional Congress here in the U.S., nor has most of the population. So I have concerns about what happens when those doors close and, people got to start making decisions about what they're going to do. But last thing I'll denote, Nancy, Mitch, get better. And after you get better, please submit your papers on the right. We will, if me and Jeezy need to personally bring you these papers so you can solve that, please contact us at Pardon the Politics. I will hand deliver these documents, not only from you, but to the place they need to go for your resignation.
And we love you so much that we'll even come help you pack your office up.
Bro, for free of charge. We'll take care of our own lodging. And it's not because we don't believe that you've done a good or bad job, but we just believe that y'all have been there too long.
Yeah.
And I would like to say that we would extend this offer out to any member of Congress who's above the age of 80.
Yep.
No, 75. I'll go to 75. If you are above the age of 75 and you would like the boys from Pardon the Politics to deliver your paperwork for resignation, call and let us know. And then we'll double back and start helping you pack your office.
Yeah, we don't love you as much as we love the country. We love our country dearly, so we will do this on the behalf of the American people.
The people.
So that's who we do this for.
the Pardon the Politics moving service, moving and logistics.
We can do it. We can get it done for you. But again, as Manny has stated, in all seriousness, Nancy,
in all seriousness, go home.
Yeah.
After you get better, go home. But get better and then go home.
Nancy, get a hip replacement. 84 can't be fun. And Mitch, Mitch been glitching, switching, twitching.
Bro, that software update ain't running like it needs to, man. Just go home, man.
You can't even enjoy lunch without an injury. So, bro, let's just go home.
I mean, I think about it at 37. In my head, I look forward to the time when I can be retired and just chill out on my back porch in a rocking chair and just, and enjoy God's beauty amongst the earth. Why are y'all in Congress?
Bro, why?
That seems the opposite of relaxing.
It seems so the opposite. Another thing I thought about, Manny, when I read these two headlines this past week, I thought of myself at 37. When the last time I failed? And I was like, it's been a while since I've taken a fall. But then also it led me to my next thought. I thank God that it hasn't been recent. I don't think a fall at 37 feels the same that it did at 24.
No.
So then I can only imagine how it felt for them at 82 and 84.
Right. I still remember that party we were at in college when the rails.
Oh, bro.
When the rails fell apart and landed on my ankle.
Bro, let me tell you.
That happens now. Oh, I'm down.
Oh, bro.
I'm not popping back. I'm not popping back up and yelling at people.
That's a 6 to 8 week injury,
bro. I'm gonna be laid up like a Tyrannosaurus Rex. Like, just leave me here.
You're gonna be laid up like how Zordon was when he lost his power.
Rangers, bro. Down bad.
Down
Down
bad, bro.
bad.
Now, I would say for our next segment that it would be fitting to make Mitch and Nancy the pickle, but we're not going to do that. But we are now at that time of our show where we have the pickle of the week.
We've got your pickle. We've got your pickle. We've got your pickle.
We got
folks.
who's in the brine this week?
As I as I said, it's not Mitch. I'm being nice. It's not Mitch. And
It's that time
Mitch.
it's that time of the year you giving G's.
Bruh, look, hey, Christmas is almost here, so I gotta be. I don't want to lump a cold from Santa, so I gotta be nice. But this pickle of the week goes to Tulsi Gabbard.
Old Tulsi.
It was reported this past week that Miss Tulsi was up on the Capitol along with our previous pickle, Pete Hegseth, trying to rally some support, man.
Down bad.
Bro, she down bad, man. They're saying, obviously, as you guys know, that she was nominated for National Intelligence Director, but it's not looking good for her, man. A lot of behind the scenes talks are saying that senators are just concerned, man. It is primarily around her 2017 visit to Syria. She had a visit in 2017 to Syria where she met with and had conversation with the country's now deposed president Bashar al-Assad. And it said that a lot of Republicans are just not feeling her moves. I believe it was reported at one time she was on the watch list.
She made the list. She was on that terrorist travel list.
They said that she was doing a lot of moving around to some areas that was questionable. So some of the senators remain skeptical about whether Gabbard should be confirmed to lead the national intelligence for the upcoming Trump administration. So, she's trying, as Pete is. He's trying, but they're just not feeling it. It's actually been reported that 100 former senior U.S. diplomats and intelligence national security officers have urged Senate leaders to schedule a closed-door hearing on Gabbard and carefully scrutinize her as to they are alarmed about her experience level in the meeting she had with al-Assad. We'll see if that actually happens.
Wait. You are telling me that Congress is concerned that she may not be qualified for this job? I, for one, am shocked. Shocked, I tell you.
But they are concerned, man, and this just goes to what we said about Pete, and Trump has come out and basically doubled down on his support of Tulsi Gabbard, and has told her to stay in there, fight, gain support, but it ain't looking good for her, man. It's not looking good for her at all. Now she does have, again, like Manny had pointed out about Cash Patel, she does have some expertise within the area. So she is not the worst qualified person on the list of people that Trump has picked. But nonetheless, she is being heavily scrutinized for her stances at previous times and is trying her best to get over that finish line. But she might be in the pickle, brother. She might be in the pickle.
I mean, good luck.
As we love to say in America, thoughts and prayers.
I mean, what else can we say, man? We knew that this was always going to be an uphill battle, and I think from their standpoint, they may have taken in their head, "Oh, well, as long as Matt Gaetz is around, we're always going to look like better options." Well, he's not around anymore. So,
What's that thing with the meme with the Grim Reaper going door to door?
bro, door to door, make his way down. Make his way down. I am still shocked. Pistol Pete is in there, is still in there, but we'll see. You know, for the purposes of the pod, I would love to see how his confirmation hearing is going to go.
Yes,
but yeah. Good luck, Tulsi.
Yeah,
I like to cheer for women and whatnot. So, but girl, you're in a pickle. It's not looking good. It's not looking good, man.
Now, some people, and I want to just say this for our listeners, some people, even though you may make it as the pickle of the week, there's always a chance to redeem yourself. All pickles don't stay pickles, man. Sometimes people make it out. We've seen that Eric Adams is trying to fight his way out of a pickle. But you can fight your way out of a pickle. You don't have to stay a pickle.
But if you look at the history of our pickles, Eric Adams is the only one on his way out of a pickle.
Out of his potentially.
We here at the pod, we're pickles. We're in the pickle of the week, and we're still in the pickle.
And we're still in a pickle,
fighting for our lives, man.
Yep. The point of the pickle is you can't give up.
There you go.
If you gotta fight,
you give up, you lost.
The end. If you're in a pickle, you gotta fight to the end. And if you die a pickle, then hey, at least we remembered you as a pickle of the week.
Yep. You make the wall. You make the wall.
You make the pickle pile, man. So, but yeah, she's in a bit of a pickle, man, and we're gonna see how that plays out. I'm excited for when these confirmations start happening, man. I can't wait. But we're gonna have some fun with this at the pod, man.
Man,
we're gonna have some fun.
Look, we might have to go on live while some of this is happening and give y'all a breakdown live.
Hey, I'm gonna have to put my time in at work and be like, look, I can't work between these days and these days. My director gonna be like, wow, what's going on? Nothing, just confirmation hearings that I need to watch live.
I need to watch. I don't want to catch the highlights.
Yeah, I need to see these live and direct. So
I can't live vicariously through the tweets and the skeets.
Nope.
I need to see this go on live.
I got to see it firsthand for myself.
Look, as soon as it starts, I might even get myself a Truth Social account and have Blue Sky, Truth Social, and Twitter all up at the same time. Was watching the commentary,
going crazy. It's gonna be wild, man. I can't wait. So we will see if indeed Tulsi makes it even to the confirmation.
It's true.
2025 is gonna be a wild time, bro. So buckle up
and grab a sweater.
So with that being said, that is our pickle of the week. And we are now at the end of our episode, which we do every episode, is give you our spotlight of the week. So with that being said, my spotlight of the week I will go ahead and give you is about Hakeem Jeffries.
Brother
King was asked a question, and we've talked about it here at the Pardon Politics podcast about what the Democratic Party needs to do going forward. And he was asked a question in regards to, does there need to be a complete makeover of the Democratic Party? And in his question, basically his answer was no, but he kind of hinted at something a little bit when I heard his response. And it seemed to be that he was hinting at a some potential election interference by chance.
Not some subtweeting.
He was definitely subtweeting. He pointed out about how in the key battleground states, 5 of the 6 key battleground states, Democrats won from either a Senate or a House level, but lost presidential wise. He went through North Carolina, Wisconsin, Michigan, Nevada, Arizona. And he was like, of course, we lost in PA. But he said, well, basically in a nutshell, were there 2 different elections going on? Because why would Democrats need to do a complete makeover when on a state level, we handled business, but for some reason that didn't translate over to the presidential side? And the way that he said it made it kind of, it's been kind of getting stirred up on social media and on media outlets to whether or not there may have been some smoke where he was hinting at some potential election interference. Now, this is not the first time we've heard of this, because we heard not too long after the election that AOC kind of talked as if some things were potentially afoot.
Well, and you know what? North Carolina is always going to be top of everyone's list.
Yep.
But you know what? We are a strange state.
Yep.
We've said it on the pod. You know, we are an urban state that of all the urban states, we're the most rural.
Yep.
So we do it real weird. But the other piece that I will call out is, I don't know about other states.
Yeah.
But here in North Carolina, we had a little person by the name of Mark Robinson, who was trash and sunk the entire Republican ticket from a state level. So that dragging on. If we had a more competent governor candidate from the Republican side, would Josh Stein have won?
We don't know.
In the words of Kanye, I guess we'll never know. But North Carolina, we're always going to be weird.
Yeah.
And I think, so let's remember the reality of how people view Congress. Everyone loves their Congress representative and hates everyone else's representative. You know, my guy is great. My guy's not the problem. Y'all's the problem. And I think when you look at, especially a national election, you could love the people who are representatives from your state. You think the people from your state are great. But if I'm in Ohio, well, no, let's call it out, Pennsylvania. I think what my people all listed directly around Pennsylvania, I think their job that they're doing is great. But I think the job that Democrats as a whole, you know, is trash. So I'm going to vote for the other guy. So I think that's also a weak argument, but it's also a dangerous argument. Like, if you got the proof, the same thing we said when Trump said it. If you got the proof, put it on the table. Put it on the table, and let's have an honest conversation. But like, the statements like that, are comparable to the statements that Trump was making as well. And we saw the ramifications of what happened with that.
I agree.
So, you know,
that was my feeling about it exactly. If he hinting at something, don't hint with me. Tell me what you're saying loud and clear, and show me what you got.
You show me 7, and I'll show you 8.
And I'll show you 8.
Shout out to Nelly,
yes, sir,
and the Saint Lunatics.
But you know, with that, you know, with him saying that this past week, I just wonder, you know, will we hear any more doubling down of that? Will there be more said on that? You know, I think that is one of those things where you don't just throw it out there and just act like, you know, throwing a rock at a glass house and then wanting to hide your hands. Like, I think he from what I've seen from Brother Keem, he's very intentional on the things that he says, and he's very calculated. He's not a misstep type of brother to me.
You don't get to the levels that he is in politics and in Congress, and not by not being intentional about what you're saying. So I don't know. Now, if you follow the interwebs, there have been questions about this since the election.
Yeah.
But we will see what happens. But if you got something, Brother Keem, let's see.
Call us here. Call us in politics.
We are inviting you, Brother Keem, to the pod. Come talk with the boys, because we got some questions that we want answers to. So we would love to have you on the pod. We're gonna put in that request to your office. Because we would like to know more.
Yes, sir. Yes, indeed. So that is my spotlight of the week. So what you got, Manny?
Oh, man. So continuation of this person could have also been a pickle, but it's a situation that we are going to be watching. And y'all, me and Jesus were talking about it, you know, as we start getting more and more subscribers, you know, we're gonna start giving y'all some more access to the show. Because the reaction that Jesus had when I gave him what my spotlight was going to be was great, and I hate that, you know, you listeners right now have missed that for how great it was. But my spotlight of the week goes back to a topic we brought up a few weeks ago, and that's our people over in South Korea. So,
our South Korean brothers,
bruh, South Korea. So, if you haven't been following, I'll give you a quick breakdown of what's happening over there. Their current president, President Yoon Suk Yeol, I hope I said the name right, popped out one night and said, we're going under martial law because I'm taking this over. You know, we got some people infiltrating. We got to get control. So he did that, to which his Congress was like, wait, what? You can't do that. And basically held a vote and said, y'all, we're going to cancel this. So then Yoon comes out and is like, all right, no more martial law. No, we're going to figure this out. So that was about 2 weeks ago. So immediately afterwards, the opposing party to President Yoon said, nah, we're going to impeach this guy. He's got to go. So he had backers, and they stopped his own party, Yoon's party, said, nah, we're not going to do this. This is not how it goes. So they stopped the impeachment. Well, apparently what's happened behind the scenes is his party's come to him. It's like, Yoon, you got to step down. You got to go. It's not that we disagreed with them over there. You got to go, but we wanted to give you this opportunity to. They're trying
to save face.
Like leave on your own.
Yeah.
And he was like, nah, I'm going to stay here and fight. They said, all right, impeachment. So on Saturday, they said, sir, grab your hat, your coat, and leave.
Get him the Gene Wilder treatment.
Good day. And went ahead and guided him to the exit.
So just so I understand, at this current moment, Brother Yoon is no more in charge.
Yep. They needed 200 of 300 lawmakers for this to pass.
How many did they get, bro?
I have no idea. I know they got more than 200. They got more than...
Boy, if you was about to tell me, brother, he got like 290, like 295.
Look, I'll see if I can find that number real quick. But they're like.
But I just want to say, Brother Yoon, this
204. 204.
Okay. So, Brother Yoon, I don't know if you felt inspired by Kendrick Lamar, and I don't know if you might have played. Not Like Us a little too many times, and the part where Brother Lamar tells us that sometimes you got to pop out and show people. I hope that you didn't let that resonate in your head a little too much, because it seems like you tried to pop out and show people, and they showed you.
Well, if we're just gonna be out here showing people,
bro, you can't do it, bro. You can't do it, Brother Yoon. So, best of wishes.
Right. So yeah. So so right now, it's got to go through a constitutional review. But as of right now, as soon as that passes, the president's immediately suspended.
Wow.
And during that time, the prime minister serves as the acting president. So it's not like over here where you get impeached. It's over. It's over. We're gonna hit this review.
Play no games.
And so that's the first one.
Okay.
And here's the second one. So Jeez was not inclined to this one.
Yeah. I don't know this one.
All right. So there are some very early reports heading into the future of Vice President Harris. Yes. And there's debate about, apparently in her camp, about what she's going to do. And at this point, the decision apparently now we're super early out, but we'll see how the cookie crumbles, is that she may consider running for president again, or she may join the California governor's race.
Wow.
Yeah. So they've already said she's not going quietly into the night. But yes, she is considering running for governor of California.
Is Newsom's would that mean that his time is up? Has he ran all his terms?
I believe he's getting close. So yeah. And look, this is just me personally. I believe governors make better presidents anyways.
Yeah.
So
I can see that.
I think having to work as the chief executive within your state to negotiate and whatnot, it prepares you to have to do that at the next level.
Yeah.
That it sets you up good. So
But see, then I worry that if she goes that route, Auntie, by the time she comes around for a presidential race,
she gonna be back here on the pod with me yelling at her to go home.
she old.
Go ahead and grab Doug and go home.
Because essentially, if you do that, then let's say whoever runs Democratic, and I'm just saying hypotheticals, whoever is a Democrat and they end up getting 2 terms, then bam, it would be, let's say, potentially your term. I mean, Auntie, that's like what, 12 years?
Yeah.
Ain't she already like 60?
Mm-hmm. Put her in the 70s.
You ain't Auntie no more. You grandma now.
And to answer your question, so Newsom is in his last term. His term is going to be up in January of 27.
Okay.
So now she could. Crazier things have happened. Let's not forget that Obama was a 1-term senator. You know, she could hit and go get elected governor and then immediately go run for president. Now that would be highly disingenuous.
Yeah.
To do that, but hey, you know, we're Americans and we are an unserious country.
I don't know, man. I feel like the best thing for her is governor. It might be time to let them ambitions as president go, bro.
Yeah,
but
I'm with him.
You know, we shall see.
But that's my spotlight. That's what I'm keeping my eye on. And one last thing before we head out, ABC had to pay Trump $15 million in a defamation suit.
Bruh, that was crazy, and they have to issue well, as Trump called him, Stoppadopoulos, him and ABC have to issue a public apology, which I believe they have to air actually on the ABC. And I was like, what in the world? What happened? But it really just came down to, which is wild for 15 million. And I think the 15 million, some of that contribution goes to his library or something like that.
Yep.
But it was wild because what caught them up is that they said that Trump was, the E. Jean Carroll thing, that he was convicted for alleged rape. But he was convicted for alleged sexual abuse. So just the trip up between rape and sexual abuse cost ABC 15 million. That's crazy, bro. But you know Trump gonna spend this for a win, though. You know.
Oh yeah.
As he should. He should.
There are no wins and losses in politics like that.
Sir.
No, that's not. There's being in the news and not being in the news. So. Yeah,
but, you know, the thing that worries me about this is that this is just be used as yet again the media can't trust the mainstream media is this, and I believe in George's his work that he's done for the vast amount of years that he's been in media. I've always thought that he was a stand-up guy. You know, I don't think this was by purpose. At least I don't think it was, but.
We'll see.
15 million, whether
right.
Whether it was a 15 million on purpose or 15 million by mistake, it's still 15 million.
It's still 15 mil. But
that's crazy, man.
But those are my spotlights of the week. We'll see how this breaks out over the next couple weeks.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
Well, that, again, is our spotlights of the week, and we have reached the conclusion of our episode. So, guys, this is season 1, episode 13. We thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. Again, as always, if you have any topics or questions or any discussion you'd like to hear from the boys here at the pod, hit us up on our social media and let us know, and we would be glad to do so. So, with that being said, Manny, all hearts and minds clear. You got anything for the people?
All hearts and minds clear. We will see you guys next week.
All right. We'll see y'all next week. And always remember, if don't nobody love you, know that the boys here are part of the politics.
The boys here at the pod love you.
We love y'all. Take care.